So 2021 is almost done and new fragrances are still coming out on the designer side. This is one that kind of caught me off guard. I saw it online and I thought to myself, wait, is this a new release? And as it turns out, yep, came out just this year, 2021. I bought my bottle on Amazon for dirt cheap. I'm excited to talk to you about it. It's by the company Guess. This one is called Seductive Homme Red. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Seductive Homme Red by Guess, and I tell you all about it, how it compares to the original, so on and so forth, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, and give this video a thumbs up by the end of this video if you take something of value from this episode. So I was looking at the note breakdown for this one shortly after I purchased it, and it sounds really interesting. There's kumquat, orange blossom, cinnamon, fig, lemon zest, vanilla, sandalwood. I mean, it's a really nice note breakdown. You know, some sweet notes, some spicy notes, some fruity notes. And then I purchased it and I had the opportunity to smell it, and my mind went in a few different directions because, one, I think it does smell similar to something I already have in my collection. And I also do think that it smells different enough from the original to warrant a purchase. And for the price that I bought it, I think it was a really good purchase. So I'm excited to talk to you a little bit more about the smell, but let's start things off with the presentation. So as soon as you spray this fragrance on, you are going to get this spicy, fruity, citrusy vibe. Now, I know it says lemon zest in the opening as far as the note breakdown is concerned, but I don't really get a lot of lemon from this one. As a matter of fact, it doesn't smell too citrusy. I feel like it went straight to the fruits in this fragrance. And of course, it does contain the note of kumquat, but it's also very smooth, a little creamy. I think the sandalwood has a lot to do with it. And it is a little bit ambery, to be honest. So it has a little bit of like a resinous, balsamic texture that complements the vanilla that's in the base. Now, here's the thing, right? So it contains this fruity note of kumquat, which is very unconventional. And there is another fragrance that I have in my collection that has that same note. As a matter of fact, it also has that in addition to sandalwood. And it's a fragrance that was composed many years ago by Natalie Lorson by the brand Moschino, and it's called Forever. Very unique brand, very unique fragrance, and then it also has like this yellow appearance to the bottle. This actually smells very similar to that fragrance, but it has a little bit of like an ambery touch that the Moschino fragrance doesn't have, which I think is kind of cool. And I should also mention that I haven't worn that Moschino fragrance in many years, but I still have the olfactive blueprint pretty well secured up here. But so it opens up very fruity, a little bit of that cinnamon, far more than the lemon zest or the orange blossom. As a matter of fact, I get more orange blossom than lemon zest, because it does have a little bit of a smooth, creamy, floral component about it. Nothing too citrusy though. But I really think the star of the show is the sandalwood, the kumquat, and the vanilla, because it's creamy, it's sweet, it's a little balsamic, but it also has a little bit of a fruity texture about it as well. It's interesting because I think this one does smell like a few other fragrances in my collection. It reminds me at times of Udin by Xerjoff. It reminds me at times of Sculpture Homme by Nikos. It reminds me of Moschino Forever. And it also reminds me a little bit of Moschino Uomo. So I think this one kind of goes in the direction of several other fragrances that I have in my collection. But of course, given the red designation on the bottle, we can kind of expect this one to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit heartier, a little bit more romantic. And yes, perhaps The original Guess Seductive Homme, which I also own and I purchased many years ago, I think that fragrance is great for like an office setting, although it doesn't do anything too groundbreaking or too unique. It does kind of fall under the category of generic, I hate to say so, but this one is a little sweeter, it's a little spicier, has a little bit more oomph to it. And so if you're looking for something that is a little bit more with the times, so to speak, and something that does kind of venture down a path of originality and uniqueness as opposed to just something very generic and mass appealing, I think Guess Seductive Homme Red is a great fragrance for that. At the end of the day, it's not a love for me. I like it, I don't love it, but I think given the price, it's a solid fragrance to pick up, especially if you're a fan of the original, you want something that's done slightly differently. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I did compare it to a few other fragrances in my collection, but they're like very obscure comparisons. So as far as the designer fragrance is concerned, I do think it's kind of unique, and I think the overall smell is one that is mass appealing, and I think in that way it kind of aligns itself with the original, because I also found the original to be fairly mass appealing, albeit a little generic. In terms of the longevity, you're going to get about 6 to 7 hours with this one. The projection was great for the first half hour. It never radiated beyond an arm's length, and it did start to sit quite close to the skin at around that 4.5 to 5 hour mark. In terms of the versatility, I think you can wear this one all year round, despite the vanilla, the sandalwood, the cinnamon, and these seemingly darker, sweeter notes. I think you can still wear this one in the spring and summer and get by with it just fine, because it's not a beast mode performer per se. I think this one does lean a little bit masculine, but if you're a confident woman and you want to wear this one, by all means, these are just recommendations. Wear what you love and wear what makes you happy. And I think this is going to appeal to a bit of a younger crowd. In terms of the presentation, I actually like the presentation. I like the coloration of the bottle, the gold hardware matching with the red cap and the red bottle. I think it looks really nice. I think there were a few comparisons made to Versace Eros online. I think those comparisons are unfounded. I think the people who made those comparisons are just linking them together based off the fact that they both are housed in a red bottle. In terms of the olfactive profile, very different though. So my final verdict on this one is, like I said, it's a like, it's not a love. I think for the price, it's a solid purchase. If you're a fan of the original, I think you might also owe it to yourself to pick this one up. You might really enjoy this one. And I do think it can be compared to some really cool fragrances that I have in my collection, including Moschino Forever, including Xerjoff Udin, including Nico Sculpture Homme. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. 60% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. Please let's change that. It would mean so much to me, and it's absolutely free. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. This way, whenever I do upload, and I upload daily, those videos will get delivered straight to your feed. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's review. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.